in, by the way. We're going to start with our line of action right here. That is the spine of the figure. We're going to work on our 3 immovable masses. Let me turn down this music a little bit. We're going to work on our 3 immovable masses. Let's proportion this out. Let's do it over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7.5. We're working on our 3 immovable masses. The 3 immovable masses are the basis of figures and just most animals. If you look at nature, most animals do rely on the 3 immovable masses, like say a dog or a cat. And it would just be the torso, you know, the torso, the pelvis, and the head. But these things right here are actually very, very important because these things move in varieties of ways on creatures. And if you're like into animation and stuff, a lot of animators, what they'll do is they animate that line of action, and then they know that's what animators are really good at. They're really good at morphing these three blocks. And that's what I've learned is that these 3 blocks are very, very important. Now, some artists actually don't do this. This is the method that I was taught, by the way. And so the method that I was taught I'm using the Bridgman method of figure construction. Now, Bridgman studied Michelangelo, so in some cases, this is the Michelangelo way of creating a figure. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Leg. I was looking at a past stream that I did, and I actually did do a full inked, drawn out character in 2 hours. So that's kind of why I was like, oh wow, I actually did that in 2 hours. That's crazy. Like, do like a leaf sword. I think how I would put the other arm. We also need to have a shield somewhere. I mean, I guess maybe... I kind of wanted a bike somewhere on this, but maybe not. I mean, we could have like the floating shield. Nah. Yeah, screw it, we'll just have a shield like this then. Actually, no, we'll do a shield like that. Just a common kite shield. Actually, I think I got that wrong. Okay, let's do our next layer. So now we're going to do our pencil layer. Let me get another piece of paper real quick. Now what I like to do for these ones is I like to have an edge on my, I mean I've said that before, but actually you can see that edge right there. See how it, like one side's like flat? I try and use that little edge. Okay, so now we're gonna work on just a little thumbnail more. A second layer of our thumbnail. So these are his pauldrons right here. We're gonna work on our chest plate. So we have the helmet. I guess we do another halo on this one. So now this is the deltoid, this is the bicep. Let's keep working our way down right here. Put a little bag. I know it's kind of hard to see, but these thumbnails are very, very important to do, because this is kind of like what we're going to use to build the rest of the character up. Little hand. Maybe the sword. Kind of just like a two-handed sword, huh? Then there's gonna be like leaves growing up on it. I kind of want to maybe not do that shield right there. I kind of want to have it as a bike, honestly. Oh, that's weird. It's like focusing on my finger. I don't know if I'm going to do this shield right here. I guess what we could do is we could have it like this. You know, kind of like opening his like bag or something right there. And then what we could have is we could have like the floating shield. Something like that. And then I guess now we could actually put the bike right here. I was kind of wanting to put a bike in it. Now I don't know if I'm going to be able to do all this, and that's the hard part, because on my past streams that I was watching, because I've been uploading them, I wasn't drawing the bikes and stuff. So this is kind of when I mean, I guess I could just put it maybe right there instead of like right there. Yeah, that's what we could do. Or maybe we could do it right here. I guess we don't even have to do a bike, honestly. Well, I guess in some cases, because like it's the shield of faith, right? And you know, like that little symbol, actually I put that little symbol on most of my streams. Like that little shield right there. Because what's interesting about those verses in Ephesians 6 is it says, take up the shield of faith in all circumstances, right? Because I was actually kind of thinking about it too, because if I did have the shield down here, this does look like a two-handed sword, right? So it's like, how could he be, I mean, I guess superhuman strength or something, but I mean, I might do a bike right here. Yeah, I'll probably just do a bike right there. In the later version. Okay, so I think this is our thumbnail. So let's see if we can build this up. Now, what actually some people, if you were doing this digitally, what some people actually do is they actually take this little thing right here and they'll actually just start drawing on top of it. Because what you could do is you can take this, you can crop it out, and then expand it, make it bigger, and then just start drawing on top of this. But unfortunately, we're doing this traditionally, so we don't have that option at the moment. So, and why they call it a thumbnail is because basically, I mean, I guess that's not really. Some people actually draw it even smaller. Some people legitimately draw it like as big as a thumbnail. I draw it a little bit bigger. Some people actually draw big thumbnails. Some people even draw like, you know, but some people actually draw. Some people literally draw it like super small, smaller than this one. Okay, I'm trying to get a good size on this. Let's start this. Let's just try and grind it out. Okay, so we kind of know that the shield's going to be right here. Let's see. So we're going to build it up just like this figure right here. So we know these are some very important landmarks. So we know he's going to have a little halo. We know that this is probably going to be the end of the page right here, right? So that's another reason why we do these. Why a lot of people like doing these thumbnails. So you can kind of like see how far we need to place all this stuff on the paper. These two lines right here, kind of like where the paper's supposed to be. Okay, so let's start this out. Let's put on a different song. Okay, let's do this. Start with our line of action. And our line of action basically goes like that. It doesn't have to be perfect, by the way, too. Okay, so since we know this, we're going to put our big landmark, which we're going to figure out it's about that big from that, so. Place our head. Let's see how this lines up on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7.5. Just pretty closely lined up because if that's the halo right there. Okay, so now let's work on the 3 movable masses like we did on this figure right here. Think about them as blocks. Actually, I think I made that one a little bit too small right there. One, 2, 3, 4. 4 is generally the end of the pelvis. 4. Think about the pelvis as a block. Okay, this is split into a little bit of a 3/4 view, so we're actually going to split this a little bit like that. The shin bone's generally curved in most cases. One, 2, that is the end of the pecs. It's the deltoid. Bicep wraps around. Let's see. Got that wrong or well.
And you need this done by when? Was this approved by management? An entire landing page with an onboarding video? Let me just check my schedule.
Okay, let's listen to something else.
Another kickoff meeting? Don't forget the Gantt chart.
Thinking about this sphere as a block. Okay, let's see if we can kind of push this out now and start putting the armor on it. I think I got this wrong. Huh. Well, let's see if we can build this up. Let's see where it goes. There ain't no going back now. I'm trying. Let's see how much time I have. We have 1 hour. That took about 20 minutes right there. So that means we have 1 hour to basically draw all this out. Let's start with the head. Now this is kind of like abstraction, right? So we're kind of just thinking about the forms underneath, and see how, like, you know, like the deltoid like wraps around. This wraps around. This is kind of like, you know, wraps around. And this is kind of why I like drawing armor a lot of times, because it is kind of like it actually kind of reminds me of like the graffiti stuff. You know, that's kind of, I actually think graffiti is actually a good warm up if you want to get into armor, because armor is kind of just like, you know, you're just trying to, you know, do these curved lines. How do you connect these curved lines to this line? Fun way to think about it. Yeah, I think it is. But the big one is these proportions and stuff. That's the most, that's like the foundation. If it's that, I think that's the big one for me. That's actually what took me, I think, the most time to learn, is like the foundation, and like kind of like learning the landmarks of where everything kind of fits together and stuff like that. No, actually, I should have maybe not even start. Sometimes I do just kind of just start going for it, right? But generally, what I would do is I would do hardest things first. You know, head, hands, the head and the hands. Now, actually, I learned that from another believer, strangely enough. I learned that from Brad Rigney. There was this MTG artist. His name's Brad Rigney. He is a believer, by the way. But how he went about things is he would work on the hardest things first. I totally got that wrong. And that's the thing is also, like, if you make a hand right there, like if I made the hand, sometimes you just have to like go with, because I know that that's where the palm is, and if I did it like that, then I actually have to change, because he was kind of holding the sword like that. And I think that's also a big one to learn, is like if you draw a hand like that and you kind of know where where the palm and the wrist is, sometimes you have to actually alter. See how I had that right there? I actually have to alter it now because of where that hand was placed. But it's okay, because, you know, this isn't like we're doing it with ink at the moment, so we can't alter it. It actually might be better like this. But that is kind of like an improvisation alter that we had to do that actually changes what we did right there. Hardest things first: patience, forgiveness, humility, drawing on the Lord. Very true. And so now we're going to do this one. And also, so right now we're not using much reference at, well, I'm not really using much reference at all, right? But if you were to draw something like this, you can bring up a lot of reference. But generally what starts happening when I start using a lot of reference at the moment is that sometimes it just takes me a long time, and I'll start be like, oh, well, I don't like it like that, and then I want to change this. That's another reason why I start doing, like, I start with these little drawings a lot of times, is because I have to actually make these abstractions kind of like come out, right? And like, in some cases this is almost kind of like using reference right here. It's like we're using this as a reference to build upon this. So I'm thinking about the hand. So a quick way to do this hand would be like, you know, I'm thinking about the palm like that, and I'm also thinking about the palm like this sort of shape of a square, right? That's kind of like our hand. There's that part, but we're tilting it. And this is what I've learned from Bridgman, by the way. It's not like I've just it's not like I've just magically just learned about this stuff. This is all this stuff that I'm learning, all this stuff that I'm showing is stuff that I've learned from Bridgman, which I highly suggest people to go and study if you want to get in. I guess it depends on who you want to study, because some people do study from different figure drawing people. Like some people study from Loomis, Andrew Loomis. Some people study from Bridgman. It all depends on who you want to study. And also the other thing is there's total new ways that some people don't even do all this stuff, by the way. Some people actually think that this is actually like more of an old school way to go about things. Say like some of these comic book artists nowadays. Dude, some of these comic book artists, they don't even draw any of this stuff. They go straight in. Some of them even can just go straight in with ink first time. They don't even need to do all this underlayer. There's some people that they can actually draw all this underlayer in their mind, and when they go upon the ink, they already have all this stuff mapped out in their mind, which is really, really interesting, but it's very, very challenging. But that's how some people's minds work, I guess. I'm trying to think what kind I could put right there. Now, there was a time in my life where like I kind of like wanted to keep all this stuff secret. But man, some of those Bible verses, bro, have changed me. You know, like especially the Matthew 5:14 through 16. about like letting our light shine. And honestly, how I see it now is I'm like, okay, well, if I do this and show some people how to do it, not only with just this, but with the Bible studies or with my bike riding and stuff like that, hopefully we can encourage to grow other believers to want to do it as well. That's how I view it now. But I used to not really think about it that way. Now, so what we're going to go into now, actually, another thing that I actually forgot that I used to do is sometimes I actually see how I have the drawing over here on this side of the paper. What some artists actually do is they'll actually start drawing on this side right here, and they'll work their way this way, because you know how sometimes you put your hand on the paper and sometimes it'll smear that. What you can do is you also can just put a piece of paper like that and do it like that. So we're going to erase this little hand gesture right here. And let's see if we can draw the bike. So we did draw the bike right there. I actually forgot. I need to look at my own bike. What does the wheel go up to? It goes up about to the knee. I forgot that. That's basically kind of where the bike wheel goes. Where do the bars go to? Basically go up to the pelvis. The bars. It's kind of funny. You could just look at straight, just the real bike as reference, just right on the spot. Kind of digging this though. I'm rushing it though. And also the other thing what I'm rushing is, see how I did a helmet? But the other thing is, like, if you know, you want to get into like characters with like you know, like an actual face, you know, there's just so much work you have to do. You have to do the proportions of the face, you have to do the landmarks of the cheekbone and stuff like that. If you just a helmet is just, you know, you just put it up there, you just save a lot of time right there. Okay, I kind of want to get this sword out of the way. Actually, I kind of want to get this figure done before we work on this right here, honestly. But honestly, I kind of do not... no, let's just work on the figure. So it looked like I did indicate some armor right there, which we're going to try and figure out how can we take this shape right here. Actually, that one looks like it... Oops. And see, that's actually what I don't like right there. See that little line right there? I actually used the sharp side of this pencil. And I forgot. Sometimes I forget to do it, but what we do is we just get it, we get that flat side again, and we hold it on that flat side. So when I draw, we can go and get that fat line and that skinny line. So what we're going to do now is we're going to try and indicate, see how this kind of has like a bump right here? It's like a straight and a bump. So we're going to try and put that in here. So let's do, and there's also a curve right there. So we have that curve right there. Let's try and put a curve, a bump, and then like, see that part right there? Let's try and add that right up in there. So we'll do a straight, and then we'll also do another bump right here. Kind of like indicating that it's kind of like that. That's how I'm trying to view it as anyway. Probably didn't make any sense, but there's a little cross right there, so we're going to put a little cross on that one. So let's see if we can take this same shape and we can replicate it on this side right here. So we're going to do straight, or no, that's actually a curve. Curve. We're going to do another curve outside like that. And then there's a bump right there. Oh, it looks kind of lame. Oh, well. we could put a tabard. Generally, if we put a tabard like that, what a tabard is, by the way, it's kind of like that, what is a tabard? It almost looks like a skirt thing on top of armor. But generally, I guess if you're riding a bike, you wouldn't honestly want a skirt thing. By the way, the angle's a little weird because this camera's a little bit tilted. I actually kind of have to hunch over a little bit. I kind of I don't like hunching over when I draw, so I'm going to push this up. Push it like that. You know, since I lifted my hand up, I'm gonna re-grab the pencil and redraw get that flat side. Okay, so what are we working on? We're gonna work on this right here. So we're gonna indicate the shin bone. Put a cross right there. See, it's kind of like playing an RPG game. Kind of like, what kind of armor can we put on here? It's honestly like that, except instead of grinding for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours to get an armor piece, we just get to draw it right on the spot. So now what I'm doing is, see how I did this thing right here? I think I got this wrong too. I actually did get that wrong, I think. Well, it doesn't have to be perfect. And see how there's like the little strap I just drew? It actually should be like that, but I'll put a little strap right there. And then also, so what we're trying to do is we're trying to mirror this, right? But also trying to think about it as like a 3D shape. So this, and also we'll put a little peace sign right here, because this should be the boots of peace, by the way. I don't want to promote violence. That's the other thing. And I know we're drawing this armored out guy. It sounds kind of crazy. And I'm like, no, we're trying not to promote violence and stuff like that. But we're trying to promote like protection, right? Like, it's not like we're just going to have demons and the devil, like, you know, pouncing all over us and stuff. There is a level of meekness that we need. And meekness, from the Bible studies that we've done, meekness goes into like, you know, controlled strength. And like, being able to have the power to take somebody out, but you know, we're not going to do that. So we're going to try and mirror that little line right there. Okay, so we got this figure kind of going. It's pretty cool. I'm digging it. So let's do this sword right here. It's gonna be kind of fun. Now this is actually when I am gonna use this piece of paper right here, and I'm actually gonna move this because I don't know if you guys see this little black thing right there. I'm actually gonna move it up there because it's kind of like getting in the way of my hand. Put that like that. There we go. There we go. That's good right there. Gives us some room. Now what some people actually do is some people actually use a long piece of what do you call it? they have like this long stick thing, and they use it for painting. I forgot what it's called, but they use this weird long stick thing, and instead of using this piece of paper like this, which actually maybe that's what I should do. Maybe I should find that long stick thing. Yeah, it's cold now. I need to put a jacket on. I actually might have to put a heater on real quick. It's a little cold. Now we'll just put a jacket on. But some people actually do use like a. I guess I could use this as an example. Some people actually do use like a stick thing, and they'll just go like that, you know. But if you don't have a stick thing, you can use a piece of paper. Okay, let's work on this sword. This one's going to be kind of fun up in here. Oops. What am I doing? I've totally got like confused. Oh, let's see here. Meekness. I could use phaser on kill, but I have to set on stun. I mean, there are some people that play Diablo 2, and they do play the Paladin on Diablo 2, and they have this build where it's the Thorns build, and it's like this aura that the Paladins have, and so anybody that attacks the Paladin, they actually hurt themselves. So, and some people would consider that playing the pacifist build because it's not necessarily the Paladin killing them, it's actually the enemies killing themselves. I know that sounded a little dark. So take that with a grain of salt, but you can look it up in Diablo 2. That's how you have to play the pacifist class in Diablo 2, unfortunate. Or I guess not, it's just gnarly to think about it that way, but I might have worded that a little bit wrongly right there, but that's how they do it. Thank you, Creative Fit. I appreciate it. I'm actually digging this this one right here. Actually, I don't know if I'm going to do the leave things. No, I'm cool with this character right here, honestly. Though this should be the Word of God. I'm going to put a little... Maybe that's what I'll start doing. Maybe I'll do a graffiti piece one day, and then I'll do a character the next day, because I kind of feel like that kind of maybe makes me... The thing is, I start getting burnt out of doing these. You know, that's why I kind of stopped drawing as much, because I kind of got burnt out of it, but... Let me get back into it. Okay, let's draw this bike. Oh, that tire turned out terrible. How much time do we have left? We have 42 minutes left. Dang, I actually did this pretty fast. I actually think if I put myself under a time limit, I actually think I might start drawing again. Maybe that's why I kind of stopped drawing, because you know what started happening is I started like drawing, and then like I would spend like 5 hours like on my stream, and it'd be like a 9-hour stream or something. I feel like if I just maybe like do it like in segments of time, maybe it would like get me to kind of keep drawing. Okay, let's see here. Let me draw with this pencil now. Forgot. Okay. on Instagram. Actually, no, let's just keep focused on drawing. What time is it? 6:36. Actually, I think I made this top tube too long, or this bottom tube. It should be like right there. This is like the cool part of like drawing bikes, is because like I feel like I could never become pro, but like it's like I get to design my own parts now, you know. It's like whatever geometry I design, you know, you want to try it out, man. Which if I could, I would like get into some weird geometry, man, but like just try it out. Like it'd be so cool like if you could just like have prototype parts, be like, oh yeah, you know what, I want to try like this geometry of these bars, even though it probably wouldn't sell or anything like that. Like it'd be cool like just having like one-off parts or something like that. I mean, maybe that's what bike companies should start doing, is, but I guess that it would be hard to like make the molds and stuff like that. Oops, I started smearing that. I think I got that wrong. Oh well, doesn't have to be perfect, but. Okay, so we're gonna do our brake cables. He's gonna have a gyro this time. This is actually the gyro cable, the main gyro cable. It goes down like that. There actually is two little gyro bolt things. Actually, gyro cables that go down like that. And this is the straight, the front brakes. Which I don't know why I'm putting front brakes on it. I mean, I guess. There's a little cross on the bike though, it's kind of funny. Yeah, this is really fun. Honestly, this is actually what's keeping me drawing, is like drawing bikes and stuff, because I'm like, man, how cool would it be just to make your own geometry, man? Like, because that's actually one of the reasons why I started getting so much wonky geometry. I think that's actually what I'm going to start doing. I'm going to just start buying more parts with just wild geometry, just so I can really test it, because I'm actually wondering like in terms of like pro riders, I'm wondering like if they like just don't actually know what the geometry feels like, and they're just like, oh yeah, I kind of want this geometry or something like that. But like imagine if like you actually really knew the geometry, like I actually know every single angle what it feels like. Like, that would be crazy. Which, that's how Flatlanders are, man. Dude, Flatlanders are straight up like... Flatlanders are some of the most obsessive, compulsive people that I've ever met on their bikes, bro. Like, they are so, like, dialed about it. They're like, dude, I know some people, they're like just straight up obsessive compulsive, like, with their bike. They know every little geometry of their bike, which is really cool, because that's kind of how I am as well, but it's kind of funny. Okay, let's do our seat stay. Goes down like that. Honestly, I like a tall seat, but we freaking doing locomotives on this thing, man. We ain't gonna. I know I get a little bit of hate with the tall seat post, but bro, you cannot do the locomotive without the tall seat post. I know it looks a little cheesy, but there's no other way, bro. You have to like have the tall seat post to do some of these tricks. And I try and have. Well, I guess we'll have it like even. We'll put a Coles envelope in here. How does the sticker go? Oh wait, no, I have a logo right up in front of it. We'll do a little Easter egg. Little baby Easter egg right up in here. Oops. That's funny, dude. Man, this bike looks cool though. It kind of reminds me like an old GT. All I'm doing is right here. I'm just like trying to have some unity. Anything else like that? Let's draw the shield now. Gotta give glory to the Lord in everything we do. That's what I'm trying to do anyway. I don't know. Whether we eat or drink, let us do it all to the Lord, right? I'm not trying to hide it right at the moment. We're freaking trying to be bold now. See, I used to be like this. Actually, it's kind of funny. If you look at my old drawings, I used to like do a little bitty cross. I'd be like, oh, I'm going to put a little cross. You can hardly even tell. And now it's like, nope. Now it's just full on. Just like, there's no doubt about it. That because I've actually been noticing that that's what some video games do. They're like, we'll put a little cross or something. Now we're just going full on out. Full on. There we go. There we go. Man, I'm not gonna lie, this character I actually really dig. So some of these characters, they do not work out like this. Today is one of these weird days where everything just kind of worked out. But some days, man, it's like I'm like sitting here like just erasing it. But today's character kind of like really worked out. This hand's a little funky though, but I'm almost like lost. I kind of forgot what I was drawing right here. Let's count all the crosses though. So we have one on the bike right here. I have 1, 2, 3. That was supposed to be a cross, but I didn't really make it a cross. I guess we'll just do another one. 4, 5, 6, 7. That was actually supposed to be a cross too. 8, 9, 10, 11. Should be another one right there. 12. So there's 12 crosses in this piece right here. Oh my goodness. People probably just think I'm crazy, but alrighty, everybody. I guess we'll sign it. I'll sign it right. Right here. I kind of want to do one of my long signatures. Let's do like my long signature. We did a drawing. Today was actually fun. I actually didn't get burnt out today. I was actually kind of like scared. I was gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna get burnt out today, but actually worked out. And we landed a locomotive today, man. Dude, today was the day we landed the locomotive. It's so crazy to me, man, that I even landed it today. That trick took me 2.5 years, man. And it's so crazy because, like, I don't think people realize, I mean, I don't know, I think some tricks are easier than others, but bro, I have been working on that trick for 2.5 years, bro. And it's like, I don't know, man, I probably tried that thing 7,000 tries, and I finally landed it today. And the funny thing is nobody really is even going to care. That's generally how Flatland is. Like, sometimes people could probably work decades on a trick in Flatland, and, like, nobody really, like, you know. But I think that's kind of, like, the cool thing about Flatland is it's not even about, like, getting views or, like, being, like, crazy about getting the views. It's honestly just, like, it's your own test of your strength of just, like, can you do this on a bike? Like, even no matter, like, if people think it's, like, easy or it's a hard or something like that. I really like that about Flatland. Like, there's some tricks, man, in Flatland that I've seen, they barely have any views on it. But people don't realize how hard those tricks are, and it's like, whoa, man. It'll be on repeat by next week, right? In terms of the trick, hopefully. I mean, hopefully I could get the trick on lock. I'm gonna put some shoelaces on this guy. This one's cool. This should be like a cross too right here. Let me try and indicate that a little bit more. Man, it'd be so cool just to have this armor. That's another thing. Dude, how crazy would it be, bro, if you could just, like, have this armor and ride a bike? That's actually why I didn't do the tabard, because, you know, you'll see it in a lot of RPG games. It's like this skirt thing. Like, it literally looks like a skirt. I've drawn him a lot. But the thing is, like, I'd like to think that if this guy's, like, has a bike and stuff, I feel like the skirt would just, like, get in the way and stuff like that, so... Yeah, I'll start it from this one right here. Now, it kind of sucks because I actually kind of want to use this as the thumbnail, but I actually landed the locomotive, so I'm actually not sure what I'm going to use as the thumbnail for the stream. Now, see, if I was really adventurous or dedicated, we would ink this out right now. But the ink layer, I'm going to be really honest, this is when I get stressed out. This thing right here. This device right here has caused me so much stress. Man, this thing right here, man. Because at this point, like, I would ink it out right. I'd mess it up. And I'd be like, oh my god. And I have to restart it. Basically. Anyway, everybody, I think this will be the end of the stream. Let me put a Bible verse in here. Let me actually get this one going too. Also, don't forget to look into flatlandfuel.com. Shout out to Ryan Russell for handing me this sticker. Dude, that's actually cool. I could, like, do a little flatlandfuel.com and give them a shout out. We want more people riding Flatland. Let's actually read Ephesians 6 about the armor of God. So we're gonna go into our Ephesians 6 at the moment. Let's read this. Finally, be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his might. Put on the whole armor of God that you may be able to stand against the schemes of the devil. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the cosmic powers over this present darkness, against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places. Therefore take up the whole armor of God, that you may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand firm. It's actually kind of weird that it says that. And having done all. I actually, dude, it's so weird when I reread this. Why does it say all? Anyway, I don't want to get into I could just keep going on and on and on just thinking about that, but let's see here. To stand firm. Stand therefore, having fastened on the belt of truth, and having put on the breastplate of righteousness, and as shoes for your feet, having put on the readiness given by the gospel of peace. In all circumstances take up the shield of faith, with which you can extinguish all the flaming darts of the evil one, and take up the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. I mean, I guess we could keep going. Praying at all times in the Spirit with all prayer and supplication. To that end, keep alert with all perseverance, making supplication for all the saints. And this is actually an interesting one right here, right? And also for me, that words may be given to me in opening my mouth boldly to proclaim the mystery of the gospel. Boldly. There's that word again. Huh. Anyway, everybody, and then this is generally what I like to do. I like to do the armor of God pieces, right? So I'd like to consider, now I'm not saying this is actually the armor of God, but I'm just saying that I've been much inspired by the armor of God, and I'd like to think this is kind of like the armor of God, right? So we have the helmet of salvation, breastplate of righteousness, belt of truth, boots of the gospel of peace, and I tried to put a peace sign right here, sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, and the shield of faith, by which we can extinguish all the flaming darts of the evil. We have one dart right in there. Might have hit that guy right in the neck. By the way, that's another thing. If you think about the devil and Satan, what I've been told anyway, because it's actually very interesting if you look into Ephesians 6, and it talks about, Satan and the devil. Well, actually, one of the weapons of Satan, it's not a crazy pitchfork. It's not this grand red pitchfork. You know what it actually is? It's actually darts. Little darts. And you know why some people have said that Satan actually likes to use darts at times? Is because darts can actually get into the cracks of the armor. So I'd like to maybe think that that dart was maybe aiming right for that guy's neck. Anyway. Just a weird lore anyway. That's what I take that with a big grain of salt. I don't, I've heard that from other believers. I don't know if it's actually the case or not, but I have heard that from other believers. Anyway, everybody, I hope you guys have a good one. And continue to try your best and have fun. And hopefully we can learn how to edify one another, how to build up the body of Christ, and how we can try and just let our light shine, and to try and learn how to be more bold for the Lord of Lords and the King of Kings, the Lord Jesus Christ. And hopefully we can just continue to help steward what the Lord has given us, and also to help be hires to His kingdom, because that's actually what starts happening if you get saved, right? When we get saved and we profess that the Lord is the Lord of the Lord Jesus Christ is the Lord of our lives, we actually the Lord actually makes us as hires into His kingdom, and we actually can help to build His kingdom up. Sounds crazy, but look it up. It's crazy. Anyway, we out of here, everybody. Peace out, guys. You know what it be. Farewell. Have a good night, everybody. A good sign to end it to, huh?